Hello and welcome to Cosmos and Commerce, the podcast where stellar business insights meet cosmic cocktails. Janis Francis from Remax Connection, as well as the Humble Crate, Artisan Marketplace, and joining me as always is the ever-energetic Michele, cook for Body Ache Escape Massage Center. Together we're here to fuel your mind and ignite your entrepreneurial passion with a dash of pizzazz.
That's right, Janis. Today we're switching things up and diving into the sizzling world of pizza with a twist. We're talking with none other than the dynamic man behind Cardo's Pizza and Tavern, a pizza shop that's not just serving up cheesy goodness, but also crafting a galaxy of business success. We'll be chatting with Keith Bordner to uncover how he is kneading creativity into their dough and topping off his business with innovation.
That's going to be a delicious conversation. From creating mouth-watering recipes to building a brand that's truly out of this world. There's a lot to chew on, so grab a slice of your favorite pizza and get ready to savor some top-notch business insights.
Absolutely. Let's dig in and find out what makes Cardo's Pizza and Tavern a cosmic hit in the pizza universe.
Let's give a warm welcome to Keith Bordner, owner of Cardo's Pizza and Tavern, the man behind the brand. Welcome, Keith.
Well, thank you for having me, ladies.
Yes.
Having a couple cocktails while we're doing this, too, so that's my MO.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Clink. Yum. Can you share the story behind the beginning of Cardo's Pizza and Tavern? And you're the second owner, right?
Well, you could say I'm the second and the fourth. Third one was also the first one. So there were two guys that bought it back in 1963 from an old timer. Started in Great Southern Shopping Center. They split up about a year or so later. One took 270 North, one took all Southern Ohio. I went to work for the one that most people know, which is Rush Floyd. I had a stint in probably 4 or 5 shops of his. Managed the one in Pickerington where it used to be a Kroger. Bought that from him in '88. Had that one, Rice Road in Reynoldsburg, Lancaster Avenue in Reynoldsburg. And I had them all until about '94. Then the restaurant game becomes a young man's game, and at 35, I decided to get out of this business. And did some other ventures along the way, mostly startup companies. Was a global sales director before I got back into this, and took this back over and bought it from Rush again in 2005. So almost 10 years now.
Kind of like keeping it all in the family.
What'd you do in the meantime?
My father had a manufacturer sales rep business, and he used to design all of the parts for his clients. It was mainly in the wood, window, and door industry. That spun off into buying a prototype machine where we could show them what it looked like versus here's what it looks like on a piece of paper. One of the first companies that ever had one of those machines. Fast forward to 2015, that company was sold as well. They had 17 machines. Were the largest privately held rapid prototyping company in North America. The company that sold them the machines bought them. And that was about the same time that I was a global sales director for a different company. We were in the fishing industry, and that company was bought and sold twice while I worked there. Yeah. So 2015, I'm sitting in here with my brother Brett having a gondola sub and a beer. About 6 months later, I walked in the door as the owner.
Did he mark it up a lot from the time you sold it to him?
Yeah.
So you want it back? It's
it was
$50,000 more.
It was worth sentimental value to me to make sure the old man was taken care of.
Yeah.
Rush still comes in here on Saturdays, has a couple beers. I mean, he's 83 now. Good dude. He just looks at it every time he comes in here and he shakes his head.
Why?
Like at the progress, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a lot different.
He's impressed with what you've done with it.
Were you in here at all?
No, I've only been since you've been the owner.
Okay. We basically took this dining room and turned it upside down on its head, spun it around. Vision was to make it into a full-service restaurant versus just a bar on one side and let the kids go on the other side while the parents are drinking on the other side. Took a little bit of while for everybody to get used to that, but
I like it better. It's nice and open,
Yeah.
and everybody
And
See
then,
can
everybody.
do the same
then
thing.
as
Yeah.
we progressed, we had a little 24 by 24, what I called Smuggler's Lounge out back. Now is 60 by 40. You guys have seen it full bar plus the infamous alcohol out back.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You're one of the first in Ohio to have that, right?
Yeah, one of the first 5 in the state of Ohio to have it.
Yeah.
Which is why Joe loves to come
and-
here.
And still the only one that has one outside the state of Ohio. So we're about 8 months usage. And most of the other ones are inside where they can use it 12 months out of the year. But one for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. What were some of the biggest challenges you faced during the beginning of owning Cardos?
Changing the culture was probably the biggest thing. They were the land of what I like to say, the $2 tall domestic beer. I had a vision of craft beers, had a vision of more bourbon selection, tequilas, things of that nature. It just took a while to flip the coin all and realizing that what they're getting is really good stuff versus a $2 Bud Light or whatever it is. Back then, part of my restaurant history, I was also with Applebee's as a troubleshooter for the franchise. We had the 275 tall back then in '94. I still think some people think that tall beer that I'm drinking right now should be 275. But you have a keg of beer that was $42 back then, and a half barrel now is $129. So it's hard to hold a 275 price tag.
Right. If you want halfway decent.
Yeah. So those are challenges. Well, you also want to stay in business. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, part of that comes service. It was a big flip with the clientele, and it was also a flip with the staffing to get them to understand what direction we were going. Out of that initial staff, I still have 5. Most of them are in the kitchen. It's just creating a positive environment for the staff as well as the customers. And that's really what this whole thing's been about, just creating a service that can't be outdone by anybody.
You've got some good long-time employees, don't you?
Yeah. I mean, 3 in the kitchen are 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
1 out front is 9 years. And then I've got a lot in that 5-year range. When we went into COVID, we went into battle together because nobody knew what was going to happen. And that was probably the second biggest challenge that we had, was trying to figure all that out.
Mm-hmm.
Same. Yeah.
As with everybody else,
Yeah.
Michelle's business got shut down
Yeah.
completely.
That can't be fun.
No. Yeah. The day I have a business partner, Kyron, and I called him and I said, should we even reopen? This seems ridiculous at this point. And later on that afternoon, they announced that we could reopen. I was like, well,
Here we go.
guess we didn't talk about that soon enough.
I mean, so during that time frame, I just told the staff, they shut us down. We were supposed to shut down at Sunday night at 10 o'clock. Well, I think we left here at 5 a.m. after hours party.
Yeah.
Which is probably not legal, but we did what we did. We were just discussing how we were going to handle this. And I said, for those of you that want off, take full, I'll pay you for 4 weeks. Got enough cash to pay everybody in here based on your salaries. So I did that. 2 days in, I'm here cleaning stuff up, and I'm watching the Wendy's parking lot drive-through across the street. I walked across the parking lot to somebody I knew and handed them a little card. And I said, do me a favor, when you get through with this line, call me.
Oh, so you could time it?
I wanted to know how long it took. It took them 22 minutes to get through that line across the street.
Oh, wow.
And I said, okay, we can do better now. So I ordered some orange cones, put them out in the fire lane out front, and we immediately had curbside pickup.
Yep.
We were told 2 days in that we could open because we were one of those needed
Essential.
businesses.
Yeah.
Yeah. Food. Yeah.
So that's when the kitchen guy that's been with me forever came in, said, hey, can I organize the cooler or something? I can't stand being at home. I said, you want to deliver? Because what? I go, yeah. I go, I'll take all the orders I can get a hold of. I'll make them if you want to deliver. So 2 days in, we were back up and running, but told everybody that we were still closed. We just answered the phone. So then it became a fun thing because this parking lot was lined with cars coming in within a week.
Yeah.
So
That is so cool.
So those are challenges.
So how different was your revenue during that time?
Really, all we missed was the alcohol sales.
Yeah.
The food sales were straight
Oh,
on.
wow.
So we didn't really lose anything.
That's awesome.
It probably helped us long term coming out of it.
Because you got PPP
Everything.
money? Or?
We were on a direct incline up until probably last year when I decided that this kitchen couldn't handle as much delivery plus diner delivery.
Okay.
So that's been probably the only flat line that I've had on this whole thing. But just another 6 months, we'll be right back.
Yeah. So
You can take over that daycare.
Oh.
What they need to do is they need to give me a space on either side of me so I can put my kitchen in there and then expand.
Yeah, that would be awesome, right to the outside.
Yeah, straight to the outside.
Yeah.
Yes, with access. Yeah, that would be good. Can you share an achievement that you consider your biggest success with Cardo's?
Being a staple in the community and continuing to make that my goal, I guess is what I want to say. Grew up here, went to school here, know both coaching staffs for football, some of the basketball coaches over here. It was trying to figure out how, we have the big behemoth of a restaurant here in Pickerington, which is the largest roosters out of all of them. And how can I compete with that? And it wasn't, how can I beat all of my other pizza shop competitors? I wanted to figure out how I can pick up basically what I call the scraps from them.
Yeah.
Because they're a machine.
Yeah. They're busy all the time.
Those are the things that I look at, trying to keep this thing moving forward. How we take the next step. Right now, the kitchen's bogging me down because we can't produce any more than we can out of a place in a 2-hour period. I mean, it's just crazy.
So you serve award-winning pizza. Do you guys have a secret sauce recipe that you can't?
I believe the recipe is our consistency. You know what you're going to get every day you walk in this door, and it doesn't fluctuate. And it's become a joke with a lot of the regulars. They'll go, "Hey, pizza's really good tonight. Did you make it?" And I said, "Of course I did." Then they just look at me and start laughing because they know I've been out in the dining room walking around. But it's training
I made the first
staff.
one, and I made it repeatable.
Correct.
Yeah.
I mean, it's there's a few things we won't change. The sub buns that you're eating.
They're good.
Yeah, I will never, ever, ever, ever change those. And I've had people go, why? I like Aldino's. I like this. I like that. Okay. There's other places
go
around
there.
that have those.
Yeah.
I mean, no secret to the bun. It's a Pepperidge Farm bun.
Okay.
High quality. It looks nice. And it's just been our staple forever. So I will never change that. Our pepperoni is an EZO pepperoni, which is a local owned company. It's probably a higher end pepperoni than most people use. But I've known Janis since he was really
I like using local.
correct.
When
If I
you can. Yeah.
I can.
People you know.
It's more about not changing because of price, sticking to what you do, be consistent, and put out a quality product every single time.
Isn't that why Roosters is so packed, though? I think because you go in there and the wings are going to taste the way they're always going to taste.
Correct.
It's going to be consistent. So
Correct.
even if it's just all right.
Yeah.
It's not the best food in the world, but it's good and it's reliable and it's dependable. And that's
Right.
what you have done as well.
Yeah, that's more what I feel.
No, but yours is really good.
I mean,
Much love Roosters.
yes, we have a good pizza. It's quality. I am not afraid to put ours up against any of them locally.
No, you've won
Well, you've won-
awards
yeah.
with
Pizza
recent-
Wars.
Yeah, Pizza Wars.
Yeah.
The only year we didn't win it, we didn't enter it. They moved it around location to location.
Yeah.
It was the chamber before, and now it's Lions
I liked it when it was a chamber because I was a judge, and I
Yeah.
loved eating all that pizza.
So the Lions Club doesn't do a judge's choice anymore. It's all fan favorite.
Okay, yeah.
So we better go.
Yeah, you have to. I mean,
I do go.
Yeah.
I think I was working the shop because they did it on a shop hop night.
That place was crazy.
People were coming in my shop and saying they waited like 45 minutes. Everybody was a little unprepared for how many people were actually going to be in
I
there.
was the only one that was prepared.
I know.
That's why you won.
And I heard that too. And maybe they were giving out too big of pieces, and instead of, I don't know what the.
I know what they did wrong, but I'm not going to tell you what they did wrong.
Oh, you're going to hold that in your
don't learn.
Shops have to understand that. Let's just say that first year was probably we won by attrition because there was nobody else to vote for. Second year, those guys brought their A game, which was fine. What I wanted to see. And we took almost all the awards. They had 6 awards and I won 4 of them. There you go. And the one that I'll go after this year is the one that I think I should have deserved the whole time, which was pepperoni. I didn't get it last year.
Oh.
But
Pepperoni
it is our most bought pizza for sure.
Yeah.
So we'll make a little added.
In September. What is
I
that?
think it's in November.
No.
If you look at it, those competitions for me are about getting in front of those people that I've never had pizza.
Mhm.
And if I gain 1 or 2 more customers out of that, that's really a win.
Mhm.
Winning is a good thing. It's a marketable thing. I just believe in getting in front of the customers, and even the customers that are blind, like yourselves. When they're there, it gives me an added chance to get in front of you and talk to you, because I can't talk to a lot of you when I'm in here because I'm busy.
You're busy, yeah.
So I focus on, hey, good to see you. Hey, have you tried this one yet? Because I'll take every pizza in our repertoire.
Mhm.
And,
Yeah, we can try new stuff that we
Right.
wouldn't normally.
Right. And then it also gives me a chance to spend a little money at Combustion and buy some beers for people. So, I mean,
There you go. Would you say that Pizza Wars is your best marketing thing, or do you have something that's worked better for you?
I mean, it's got to be the top one because you're in front of a lot of new people.
Yeah. How many people in the night say, I never knew where you were?
A lot.
It's so
It drives me
bizarre to
crazy.
me.
I know.
That's mine and Zach's focus for the next 12 months is to get those
Your marketing
people,
guy. Yep.
these people that don't know where we are, people that don't even know that we have a back patio. We get a lot of people go, I'm not going to that patio. They see the front.
Oh,
You know.
yeah.
Oh,
They think that's what you're talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
So nobody, I mean, the fact that we have a 110 seat back, it just makes it fun.
Yeah.
You know, still don't know
So
why
annoying.
they don't know.
How
where
many
we
years
are.
have you been here in this building?
So the actual physical shop's been here since 2000.
Yeah, we've been open since 2010, and people come in all the time. I never knew you were here.
Right.
Do you look around when you're driving?
Mhm.
Or
I know they're not keeping their eyes on the road because nobody does.
one of my,
They're
one of
looking
my,
at their phones.
I mean, you look at it and go, what are you spending your marketing dollars on? How am I going to get in front of these people?
Yeah.
I'm spending it over here. It's not,
Yeah.
it's not a trap. So that's why I focus on getting involved in the schools as much as I
So
can.
you're going to make
Oh,
sure
you
they
hit
know who you are.
lots of parents.
I like to say it's kind of like the McDonald's approach. When we were kids, mom and dad took you to the McDonald's drive-thru to get you a Happy Meal because of the prize inside. Well, I look at that as when the team meal comes about. I'll throw a team meal at every single team in this city. It doesn't matter to me, both schools.
Mhm.
And it's to get in front of those kids because eventually my mom was really not happy with me when I said this one time, but I said, how old's your daughter? She goes 15. I go, well, you know, I said, I get in front of all these kids now. So when they're 21, they're going to be sitting here right where you're at the bar. And they shook me. She goes, that's not funny. And I go, but it's true.
Yeah, they're going to be sitting at some bar, right?
Yeah, they will be.
So it might as well be my back
But they'll be
patio.
here because of the pizza.
Correct.
They'll be, I mean,
And they're
I
going to
mean-
be so close to their house.
hey, Mom, I'm coming home.
Yeah. So I mean, get involved with them at a young age.
Yeah. So switching to employee satisfaction
Mhm.
over customer satisfaction, what What is your top tips to keeping employees satisfied in their job and reducing turnover?
Here's the way I look at it. You take care of me, I'll take care of you type of mentality. I believe in systems. And we run systems in here because that's how we're successful. If you follow the systems, you will grow with us 1,000%. If you don't follow the systems, I'm not the funnest guy to be around. So,
Like you didn't follow the systems.
for instance, a lot of people want to know why we eat some pie shape. They'll order it, I want to cut pie shape. We just tell them no. Friday night in a 2-hour period, we'll have probably in the neighborhood of 200 pies coming out of those ovens. We're cutting, then we're looking at the ticket and going, oh crap, it's supposed to be pie shape. And then those customers are mad and they want you to make it. I can't do it on a Friday. I'm not doing it. So that's real. I mean, it's systems like that. Could we do it when we're slow? Yes. But can we do it on a Friday night? If we do it on a Tuesday, they're going to come back Friday.
Like you did it
Right.
4
You did it
days
for me
ago.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Why can't you do it for me Friday?
It's those systems that create the volume that we do so we can get it out here in a timely fashion. Right.
So if you saw something, pizza come out, pie cut, you'd be like, oh, you're fired.
Good job.
Probably not. Because we executed
Remind them.
it. But that person's probably going to ask us on a Friday sometime down the road.
Yeah. You find that customer and be like, you got lucky tonight. They're not supposed to be doing that.
Typically, I'll visit the table. If I seen it, I would go, oh, that's interesting. Who do you know back in the kitchen? You know, I mean, it's one of those things.
Yeah.
So, I mean, so retention of getting back to the employees, retention, especially in the kitchen, I have no alternative to pay them, but I make them work. You know, no phones, no this, no that, no playing around. So it's work. Front of the house, my mentality is it's my job to make sure that what we call butts in seats. The only way you're going to keep front of the house staff long term is if they're making money. You have to put the butts in seats to make sure that they're making
Turn
money.
them over. Yeah.
So as a sales guy running a restaurant, that's the focus. The more volume you have, volume you create, takes care of all of you.
So I've noticed that you have some younger people that work here. That's a lot of times the first job for people is working in restaurants. Do you have any tips on working with the younger generation? Anything different about them than with older?
I let my mid-range adults that work here take care of that for me because I don't understand that very well. It's hard for me when I see them on the phone. I'm unglued, especially when we're busy. But for the most part, as long as they understand that the common goal is to make sure customers are taken care of versus being on the phone, I think it'll probably change this year because the school's not allowing them to have their phones in school.
Really?
Oh, this is
Just
going to be
Pickerington?
hard
I mean,
for them.
So that's what I've been told by a couple teachers.
oh,
Do they leave them in their bags? Do they leave them at home? Like they're not even allowed to have them?
their back pocket. It just can't be sitting here
I mean,
right
let's
beside them.
just say you can't be texting with your right hand while you're putting pepperoni on with your left hand. It just doesn't work. That's a hard group of people for me because I'm approaching that retirement age.
Is that part of the job interview? Like you can't be on your phone while you're working. Is that a problem for you?
Are you going to go into withdrawals?
I mean, are you allowed to ask that question?
I don't know.
I would think.
You could.
That
Yeah.
doesn't seem discriminatory.
I wouldn't
question.
think so.
No.
But they would be offended by it.
I watch some of the clients that come in here with their kids, and their kids are used to it. They're all
I've gone out to eat and seen a whole family of
Oh, yeah.
5 on their phone.
And not
I'm
even
like,
talking to
why
each
are
other.
they here? Why are
Yes.
they here? That's so weird.
I think things are probably going to go the other direction. It's
Yeah.
hard for them to come in this door and change what they're doing every day. So let's just say I do it with kid gloves. It's some like,
Literally kid gloves.
and even with the adults, I'm pretty much an acquired taste back there.
Yeah.
You have to understand me in order to get by the night if it's a rough night.
Do you guys do any team building where it helps them understand you?
We do meetings in here quite a bit.
Maybe we should have our meetings here. Our office is so little to hold everybody at once. Can we rent out your space for a moment?
Christmas, we throw a party. In the past, I had piled everybody on a fun bus, and we went to dinner somewhere, and then we came back. We shut down on a Monday. It's usually the first Monday in December we shut down. We do things like that. Some of my kitchen staff like to fish a lot, so I done that. Work it out with this charter up at Lake Erie. You guys take off Monday. I'll cover the shop on Monday. You four go, and I'll take care of it. Those type of things. So I mean, yeah, we do it. We do our big event out back. Once it gets to 9 o'clock at night, the whole staff is on my tab. They're going to bust their butt for what they're doing. I got to reward them.
Yeah. We do a lot of personality style testing in the beginning to figure out where everybody falls, like a disc test. But it's got so many names. There's different variations. So we usually do an onboarding where we talk a lot about that and then have them guess what Kyron and I are after talking about it. Usually they can guess, but that's how we help them figure us out.
I learned that whole thing when I was in the sales world. So when I'd walk into somebody's office, I knew who I was talking to.
Yes, exactly.
So you know how to alter your conversation.
You flex into their style.
It's hard to do that in here because they're in my domain and you can see pictures on the wall if they're in the office. One guy, the whole office was immaculate, like he never was in there.
Oh, he's a detective or an analyzer.
I was like there, and I sat there and go, "You go, all right, let's get out the key file." We reach into his desk and we pull out, and I'm like, "This is intimidating." Yeah.
So what are you in that disc?
Or I'm off chart D.
Oh, okay. So like bossy.
Oh yeah. And I've mellowed through my years, so if I'm still
I'm pretty even between D and I. I is like an entertainer. D is like the dominant.
Yep.
So I vacillate between the two.
My wife's and I.
It's a good match.
She's got to have interaction all the time.
Yeah, I feel her there. Yeah. My husband is a D and I'm more I. But we're both pretty high on both. S is supporter. C is like analyzer. Where do you think you'd fall? I'll have to give you the test.
I've never taken that test.
I'll have to send you a copy.
Send me a copy and then we'll find out.
I'm probably more inside the line on the D now because I probably
mellowed with age.
Softened a little bit.
That happens when you get older.
Some of my staff will tell you that I probably didn't know it at all. But
they didn't know you before.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so with Body Ache Escape, we rely a lot on Google reviews for people to find us online. Do you have a strategy behind Google reviews or how much stock do you put in them?
I look at them. I would say probably 85% of those are probably worth some content or worth everything that they give you. The 15% drive me crazy.
Yeah.
And some are warranted. I mean, pretty good. 4.5, I think. Range.
Yeah.
Somewhere in that range.
Yeah.
We have our ups and downs depending on what site you're on. Yelp or
TripAdvisor.
Yeah. Any of those.
Yeah, they're all
But I mean,
different.
Google, we're probably 4.5. Overall, we're probably close.
Do you respond to all of your reviews?
I try. Now, someone may take.
Oh, okay.
You want to be entertained, go look at some of my bad ones. I just don't feel that the ones that deserve to give us a 1 will accept it and I'll make it right. The ones that are just doing it because those are the ones I feel like I have to turn around and give them a customer review.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
And I do it.
Yes. Good for you.
That's good.
They're important because people do look at that. So you got to make sure that
when I read those reviews, you can kind of read between the lines. If there's any negative, I'm like,
why I joke.
he's just pissed for the day. You know, I mean, somebody peed his cornflakes that day or, whatever.
What makes me mad is when you get a 1-star review and you make it right and then they don't change their review at all.
Yes.
Or you make it right before they leave the restaurant and they
They
still
still
yes. people are dicks.
People suck sometimes, for sure.
All right, tell us a little bit about your live entertainment and how does that play into your business plan?
So once upon a time, we used to do full live bands on Saturday.
That'd be a lot of
And
noise.
I am, yeah. I mean, a lot of what we've done here, the carpet on the floor, the walls are insulated. The foot area at the bar is insulated. I mean, if you step on it, it's solid.
Mhm.
So there's no vibration whatsoever. My son was a drummer, so that helped me. Acoustic ceiling tile. So it's all to try to keep, so you don't have to turn it up. Everything should be, and everybody should be able to hear it. It played a part in it. Where it became an issue was I like live music very, very much. And I would not allow there to be any bad bands in here. So I would go out and search them out. They would shoot. The band went on at 8:30 or 9. People would show up at 7:30 to get a seat, and they'd be hovering over top of the families with kids. And the environment.
You're not making as much money,
right,
because people aren't moving.
So we eliminated that. Went strictly acoustic. I probably have the best talent that you can possibly think of.
Yeah.
Acoustically. For instance, this Wednesday's AJ, who I do that event with, back. It's just got to the point where Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, they look to see who we are. Got a couple of guys out of Nashville come up. It allows the parents to introduce their kids to live music in a comfortable setting. Mm-hmm. My son was 14. He was playing in bars. It was kind of, how do we win on this and still allow these kids to be in here? So it's getting crazy.
I like the acoustic too because it's more calm.
Yeah.
And
You can still talk. And
Yes.
hear each other.
Michael's been with me since day one on Thursday. He's here every Thursday. He's a great entertainer.
Nice.
Just does a nice job. And he's nice and calm. Interaction with the crowd. That's what you want. Sometimes it can be interesting with the live bands. Like we do Dan Orr Project in here once a year.
I know Dan.
And we try to do that in between the week of Christmas and New Year's.
He draws a large crowd. People love him. He's fun.
So we've got North to Nashville here.
Well, my friends follow North to Nashville around.
Yeah.
Their group.
We've been involved in the Buckeye Cruise for Cancer
Okay.
since 2018, 2019, somewhere around there.
So it's a fundraiser for that event?
Yes, we raise money for the James through
Okay.
the Buckeye Cruise. Started AJ Angelo, used to do it over at Gatsby's.
Oh, yeah.
And he came and asked me if I wanted to support his cause. And I said, well, what do I got to do? And he goes, well, you can have a tent for my marathon. The whole time he's talking about this tent, I'm thinking that it's on the Buckeye Cruise. So it's money spent to get in front of 3,000 people that I've probably never been in front of. Sure, I'll do it. I'm not knowing that the event was a big old event, 60-foot tent out back of Gatsby's over their patio, and my name was on the stage the whole weekend.
Oh.
And then 2 years there, and then we moved over here. So first year I was involved, we raised $83,000. Second year was 101.
Holy shit.
Then we moved to here. Then the first year was $213,000.
That's crazy.
Do you put tents up out back too, or is it just
We
what you've
have
got?
Beyond the back patio, takes up the whole back parking lot, 50 foot wide by another 140 foot long.
Holy moly. We'll have to
Um,
come. We'll have to come.
So then
Yeah.
year 4, we did $325,000. And then last year, this past year in April, we did $300,000. So 3 years here have been $850,000.
That's a 3-day event? Is that a
2-day event.
2-day? Okay.
We do Friday night. First 2 years north of Nashville was on Friday. And then AJ all day long on Saturday, starting to do different acoustic artists, ex-football players, ex-basketball players, men and women, SHU alumni band, cheerleaders. Just a number of different things going on all day long. AJ has a band that he used to head called Justin had a band. They're a country band as well. He goes on stage at 9 o'clock at night after our live auction. Live auction is pretty interesting to watch. 1 hour is $150,000. It's crazy.
It sounds like it. Do you have a lot of people donating things for this live auction?
So yes,
Mhm.
we have a condo at Hilton Head for a week. AJ does a hog roast with the band at their house.
Fun. This would go for a lot. I would
I
think.
typically get a barrel pick of bourbon, and I'll auction off a spot to go with me on the pick. The first year we did it, we had 3 couples that bid $8,000, and I just looked down at both of all 3 of them. I said, "Y'all 3 want to go?" And they
Everybody
all said,
put in
"Yeah."
their eight.
I go, "Okay, we're all going." Done.
That would be the kind of crowd to hang out with. Somebody who
Yeah.
could drop $8,000 on
Yeah.
it.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So I mean, somewhere somebody makes one of those unique tables now. Or I guess what is it? They do plastics and wood, or what's that called?
Oh, the
parts.
resin.
Resin.
Yes, on the live edge and all
So
that.
somebody
yes.
will build a table and
Yeah.
we'll
Wow.
auction that off.
So Keith, what's your daily routine? And how does it contribute to your?
There's never a routine. If there is a routine, I'm probably bored. I prefer it to get crazy so I can adapt on the fly. That's what makes this staff. Once they see it, nothing scares us when it comes in the door. I mean, Saturday morning, giving you a heads up, we got 20 people coming in. We want to watch the women's soccer game. Okay. Call us back 3 hours later. Hey, I think we got about 30. Okay.
Hey, it's actually 100.
Called us back the next day. Hey, we're probably going to have 50. So I looked at the staff and I go, who else wants to come in at 11?
Yeah.
And the kitchen just looks at it and goes, okay.
Just another day.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's because they know that if they're grounding, I'm going to jump in. If the front of the house is grounding, I'm going to jump in. So, I mean, I prefer it to be controlled chaos.
Yeah.
Do you ever get any days off? Oh,
Even when I'm on
Do you?
vacation.
I know.
I guess I'm always doing something for work. I'm
Yeah.
not always there.
Yeah.
Saturday, I was here during the day. I left at 3:30. Drove down to Cincinnati, went to Voice of America concert with my wife. Came back Sunday. Was here again. I mean, but I worked both those days.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's even when I'm on vacation, I've got to keep up. With where
Check
we're at.
in. Yeah.
So touch it every day.
I get it. So how do you maintain a balance between your professional and your personal life?
That's a question I have to ask my wife.
Do you? Maybe
No.
she
Do
likes
you?
her alone time, like me.
No, there is no balance.
There's no-
Unfortunately, no, I don't sleep. So it's,
Wow.
I don't sleep much either. I mean, I'll return an email at 2 a.m. or whatever. If I get it.
If you could spend the day having a pizza and a cocktail with any entrepreneur or business owner in the world, dead or alive, who would it be?
that's a very interesting question. I would say Warren Buffett.
Okay.
What would you ask him?
How the hell he figured out what he's doing?
No. He's like a wizard, I think.
Somebody like that, probably.
Yeah.
That I worked for before was 4 guys that had sold their medical software business. 3 guys sold their medical software business. The 4th guy was their acquisitions and mergers. that helped them do it. They started this startup company that I work for. Those guys were very interesting. One of those guys was also a Latino music promoter for Live Nation. He was the guy that put together the deal for Live Nation to buy Ticketmaster.
Oh.
And at 40 years old, they wrote him a check and said, "Go away."
Okay.
And he said, "Okay," and drove across the desert to Vegas, went to Mandalay Bay and said, "Hey, I'm thinking about getting into boxing. You guys interested? What's your deal?" And he goes, "Oh, we'll put it out back here. You give me a 3-story suite in the hotel. I'll go back over and get Live Nation involved." Live Nation goes, "Sure, we're in." Comes back to Vegas, drives across the strip, signs Mayweather to 10 fights. $8 million every time Mayweather fought.
I see.
Those kind of guys get involved. What do I got to do to have somebody running 50 shops that have Keith's name on them?
What is your favorite Cardo's pizza?
I would have to say it's the Cardo special.
Okay, what's on it?
Pepperoni, mushroom, green pepper, onion, and sausage.
Okay.
But we have a very good pizza in here that's my creation. That's the pulled pork pizza.
Oh, that sounds good.
Does it have barbecue sauce on it too?
It's got drizzled barbecue on it.
Oh, that sounds really good.
So that's probably a close second. It's probably one of ours that's, once you find it, there's a lot of people that just continue to buy it. It's pretty good.
So pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
We get anything on the pizza. It doesn't matter to me. It's not my favorite, but
My husband gets it. I ate it once by accident, and I was like, "Oh, this isn't that bad."
I like it.
I mean, we don't sell a lot of it, but I mean,
It's
there's
available.
there's people that'll do their own creation. I mean, we have a high voltage, which it's pretty warm.
Oh, Joe would like that then. He likes
like hot
spicy.
sauce.
Well, I mean, it's our pizza sauce as a base, but it's bird seed or your crushed red pepper
Mhm.
sprinkled into the sauce. Then you top it with not only sausage and hot peppers and banana peppers, but jalapeno.
I burned my mouth
I
off.
know.
And we'll have people that'll order a high voltage with pineapple on it.
So you need the sweet with the heat. It's a good balance.
Calms your tongue down.
So what piece of advice would you give aspiring entrepreneurs looking to start their own business?
If you go into something, you've got to go into it with the attitude that you have to be the best. And you have to be willing to take the good with the bad along the way. Never give up.
Entrepreneurship is definitely a roller coaster.
Yes.
Yeah, it truly is.
So, I mean, it's go to work. The day's not going very good, but you can't give up. You got to
Yeah.
figure out how to get the train back on the track.
Yeah, the longer you're in it, you know that it only lasts temporary. It'll be different tomorrow.
Yeah.
After a good night's sleep, maybe.
Yeah.
So knowing what you know now, is there anything you would have done differently with Cardo?
Maybe not go on such a large scale and maybe have several smaller ones.
How many do you have right now?
Just this
one.
here.
But before it was.
So the old owner, Rush, had 9,
Mm,
but they were pretty much picked up with a small dining area. And it was just to pick up pizza, sit down at a table, go on the way. It wasn't any service. Yeah, I would probably do it on a little smaller scale because this thing would be. But once you get to this size, you got to figure out how to keep it going.
Mm-hmm.
So
so, speaking of that, what's your future plans?
I think the economy is going to dictate that for me. If it stays like it is, it'll probably be just this one. If it picks back up, then we probably have a good 4 or 5 year run, which is typically what it happens. Then I'll probably pick up a couple more.
Okay. And how long until you see your exit?
I don't think I'll ever stop working.
Yeah.
So if this thing just becomes a point to where it's a grind, I don't enjoy it anymore, that's probably when I'll hang the cleats up. But
Do your kids work here? Do they want to be
I
in
do
the
not.
business?
Both of my boys are out of state. Both of them have very successful jobs. And I told them when they were in high school, you will never work in the restaurant business.
It's tough. I know, it is tough. So what resources would you recommend to someone looking to start their own entrepreneurial journey?
I would venture to say that you probably should find a mentor.
That's a common theme, a common answer with a lot of business owners that we interview.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you can't read the blueprint on a restaurant. You can't read the blueprint on real estate. You can't read the blueprint on a spa or whatever. You're successful because you do things the way you do them. There's no blueprint for that.
Are there any other business ventures that you're curious about that you might want to get into as well as this?
Always interested in anything that's a challenge.
Okay.
This is the longest I've been in one place ever in my career. I'm typically a 5 to 6 year guy, and I conquered everything I needed to do, and then I moved on. When I got into this, I told my wife, I said, this is the last stop, because I don't know that I have the energy to go do something for somebody else again. You know, I mean,
Yeah, once you are your own boss, you are unemployable.
Right.
right. I mean,
Yeah.
I was I built a global sales channel for the company I worked for before. Those guys were great mentors, and they said, look, this is what I want, go get it. Okay, that's all you have to tell me. I'll figure out how to get there. When I worked for others in the restaurant industry, for instance, I worked for a franchise at Applebee's. I was in 37 stores in 7 years because I was fixing all the broken stores. So corporate bought all the franchises back. That's part of the problem. So you have all the people that have invested in that. They're the ones that are controlling.
I don't think I've ever been to an Applebee's.
Oh, yeah. We used to go to Applebee's because they had a really good happy hour.
Oh, Applebee's. I get it.
Land of the 275 tall.
Okay. So, Keith, we're going to switch gears into a lightning round. We're going to ask you fast questions, and you give the first answer that comes to your mind. You ready?
Sure.
You didn't read these beforehand, so this should be interesting.
I didn't read them.
I know. What is an unusual habit or an absurd thing that you love? We can stick to it.
Fantasy football.
Okay, that's good.
Been in the league since 1987.
Oh, really?
Oh, man. Do you play for money or?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
It's a big time league. And it's basically almost everybody here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
there's this underground fantasy football league we don't know about.
So, what's your proudest accomplishment?
Growing businesses. And it's not just one. So, I mean, it's been a bunch.
Awesome. What purchase of $100 or less has made the biggest difference in your life?
So now I'm going to be dating myself. My first vehicle was a $100 car.
Oh,
okay.
You got a good deal.
What was it? What kind of car was it?
It was a Catalina 400. So it was a big boat. Drove it to high school every day. Today's world, it's probably a $1,000 car.
Yeah.
So it ran.
Did you have
After
to
school?
pop the hood and jiggle stuff inside for it to start like I did with mine?
It was an older couple that
Oh, it was one of those garage cars that had low miles.
Low miles.
Nice.
This perceived nice young man that they could sell their car to.
Aw, that's great. What is one skill you would like to master?
Oh, wow. I would go back to my father started a business that he grew. and it was to run it once he retired. So I could do that to where I could master that whole thing, bottle this up into one, and not have, you know, teach other people to do it. But I could master that all by myself. That would be what I would probably do. You know, because my dad was just, he worked 7 days a week like me, but he was amazing when it came to doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
So if I could just master everything that I do and everything everybody else has to do behind me, bottle it into one bottle so it just gets done. That's probably how I want to do it.
What was your first job?
You're going to laugh. I worked for Donato's Pizza,
Did you?
Oh.
Okay.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Tennessee.
On vacation or retiring there or owning a Cardo's there?
I would like to have a house on a lake,
Yeah.
Tennessee or South Carolina. They're similar in what Florida does, taxation purposes.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
So, just want to live on a lake. So if I
Yeah.
want to go to work today, I will. If I don't, I'm going out fishing. Yep.
I like it being on a lake rather than like ocean. What's your pump up song? You have a song to get you going?
My son grew up on 80s and 90s rock. He actually recorded with an artist that used to be the lead guitarist for Steelheart back in the 90s. He has a song called Life in a Day. You know, it's about living your life in a day, in a whole day. So, I mean, that's a pump up song. But Kenny was a real big dude.
Awesome. Keith, thank you so much for joining us on Cosmos and Commerce. This has been delightful. I know our listeners will have so many takeaways and ideas. Please tell everyone where they can find you.
So, address of the restaurant is 7897 Refugee Road, directly across the street from Pickerington North, in the Cardo Shopping Center. www.cardospizzaandtavern.com. And if you want to call, it's 614-834-8101.
All right. I have a feeling you're going to be getting some calls saying, hey, we want to bottle up what you're selling there.
Okay, well, thank you so much for hosting us here at Cardo's Pizza and Tavern. We had a great time.
Had a great time with you ladies too.
Thank
Aww.
you. A huge thank you to our listeners for joining us. We hope you were able to sip some wisdom, savor some insights, and are now ready to create your own success.
Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and stay updated on our latest episodes. And if you're thirsty for more, find us at cosmosandcommerce.com. Until next time.
Cheers. Thank you. Cheers. Nice.
Good job.
Good
Thank you.
job.
Thank you.